Maya gripped the edge of the kitchen table. Notebooks lay open in every direction, their pages filled with jagged scribbles that led nowhere. Across the room, her father stood by the counter, arms locked tight against his chest. He watched her, his expression fixed in a flat, unyielding line. Maya leaned forward.
Dad, please, let me go to the concert tonight. It will be so much fun.
A question, anything to latch onto, but he simply shook his head. He turned his back on the table and walked out of the kitchen, leaving her alone with the mess of her unorganized papers. The request had been a failure. It was empty. It lacked direction. Just like the pages in front of her, she had provided a topic but failed to present an argument. There was no map, no purpose, and consequently, no results. She sat in the quiet, watching the doorway where he had vanished, realizing that wanting something wasn't enough if you couldn't explain why it mattered. Maya stared at the blank page, the silence of the kitchen pressing in. Think of your argument like a car moving through the dark. You have a destination, a goal you want to reach, but without a map, you are just burning fuel in circles. A thesis is your GPS. It calculates the route, locks the coordinates, and tells the reader exactly where you are going. Without it, you are driving blind. You accelerate, you turn, you push forward, but you are not heading anywhere. Suddenly, the road ends. You drive off a cliff and plummet into a deep, murky lake, the lake of a no-thesis essay. It is a place where readers drown in confusion, searching for a point that never surfaces. You cannot navigate a complex argument by guessing the terms. You need a signal. You need a destination. A thesis transforms an aimless drive into a purposeful journey. It ensures you do not end up at the bottom of the lake, but arrive precisely where you intended to go from the very start. It is the difference between movement and progress. Maya turned her eyes to the whiteboard on the wall. 3 distinct boxes appeared, waiting to be filled. The first box is your claim. This is your specific position, the flag you plant in the ground. The second box is your reasons. These are the bricks of evidence that hold your position upright. The third box is the most critical, the so what. This explains why your reader should care about your journey. Forget broad statements like, social media is bad. That is a dead end. Instead, watch the screen. On the left, a wilting plant labeled weak thesis reads, social media affects teenagers. It is static, drooping, and lacks vitality. Now, look to the right. A vibrant, blooming plant appears, labeled strong thesis. It reads, excessive social media use harms teen mental health because it replaces real connection with curated comparison, rewiring how a generation sees itself. One merely identifies a topic. The other takes a firm stand, links it to evidence, and defines the significance. The difference is the structure. The difference is the life you breathe into the argument. You are no longer just stating a fact. You are building a case that demands attention, growth, and proof. Maya sat back at the table. She picked up her pen, the plastic clicking against the wood as she rearranged her notes. Her dad walked back into the room, his jaw set in a line of firm refusal. Maya did not lean forward to beg this time.
Dad, attending this concert is essential for my studies. It ends at 10, which fits my schedule. It connects directly to my music theory curriculum, providing live examples of the rhythms we studied yesterday. Plus, the performance helps me decompress before finals, ensuring I return home focused and ready to work.
He raised an eyebrow, the rigidity in his posture softening as he processed the claim, the supporting facts, and the purpose behind the request. He paused for 3 long seconds. Then he nodded slowly. Yes, he said. The tension that had filled the room since the morning drained away instantly. Maya smiled. She had not just asked for a favor. She had built a case. She had used a specific claim, backed it with logic, and explained the significance of the outcome. That is the power of a thesis. Maya capped her pen and set it down. The lesson was clear.
A thesis is not just a sentence. It is the skeleton of your entire argument. To write one that works, remember these 3 golden rules. First, a thesis must be an argument, not a topic. If you are just stating a subject, you are standing still. Second, it must have a claim, specific reasons, and a clear so what. These 3 elements are the foundation of your logic. Third, if you can Google the sentence as a simple, undisputed fact, rewrite it immediately. A good thesis requires an opinion that needs to be defended, not a truth that is already settled. Draft a weak thesis now. Then sharpen it into a strong one. Post both in the comments below so we can see your progress.
Writing is a skill that grows with every attempt, so do not hold back. Start your draft, refine your claim, and build your case. We will look at your examples and continue the conversation next week. Keep writing, keep arguing, and keep sharpening your ideas.